You have a great day so far? Say yes.
Yes.
Are you excited for the rest of the day? Say yes.
Yes.
The next speaker is someone that I've known my entire life, so I'm excited to bring him up. If you're ready to learn about how to really focus on crushing the next 2 years of your business, making a lot more success, and maybe making a little bit more money, is that exciting to you? Say yes. This guy's going to teach you all of that. He's been traveling the world for the last probably 20-ish years, training businesses, buying companies, selling companies, and making a massive impact when it comes to small businesses. We do about 300 events a year. This is one of the 300 events. I guess we have one at tomorrow, so maybe it counts as 2 out of 300. But we're really excited to be here with you today. Take a lot of notes, pay a lot of attention. You're in for a really special treat. I know we're just going to have a conversation today, so no lecture, and you guys can ask him some questions, and you're going to have a lot of fun. Is that okay? Say yes? Yes. All right, without further ado, Bill Walsh. Let's rock and roll.
Let's go. Thank you. Good job, love you, thanks. How's everyone doing?
Awesome.
Yeah, so have you learned a lot about franchises? How many actually own a franchise? So nobody owns a franchise yet. So what was your favorite franchise on the floor so far?
Balloon King.
What was it?
Balloon King.
Is that you? Right. That's good. Balloon King is right when you walk in the door, right? So how many people here like the idea of making more money? Okay, how many here would actually like to own some more companies? Right? And how many here aren't sure why the fuck you're here? It's okay, I still love you either way. Does that make sense? It's quite all right. So we run a venture fund. We do business courses, speaker courses, mastermind events all over the world. My career started out of high school and college as a trader. I did turnarounds for a decade. I got burnt out. Who's ever been burnt out? The year 2000, I wrote this down, there has to be more. And I took a 2-week vacation. The 2 weeks became 2 years. Because sometimes, I want you to write this down, sometimes you got to check out to check back in. And it wasn't easy, right? It's not, everybody thinks that, making millions of dollars is easy and building companies and private jets and boats and yachts is easy. It's not easy, but it's possible. But if you're not willing to get your priorities in order, it's never going to happen. So I was making millions of dollars a year and I just said, I need a break. And that 2 weeks became a lot longer than that because I knew that I had bigger things to do. And I want you to think today if you guys have bigger things to do. And I want you to go through this little process with me. When you think about starting a business or buying a business, ask yourself these questions. Write it down. What are you great at? What are you really great at? Does it serve a lot of people? Is there money in the industry? And would you do it for free? In other words, are you really passionate about it? Because if you're not going to make it. Does that make sense? You will find a reason to quit. So after that, I teamed up with a young company called GoDaddy. You probably heard of that little company out of Arizona. A guy named Bob Parsons, and people thought he was crazy. Another company called Franklin Covey. You might have heard of that company too. The guy's name was Stephen Covey. He wrote a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I always knew really that I was great at one thing, and if you had an idea, what's your first name? Omar. If Omar had a great idea, I could raise the money, I could bring on the teams, the systems, could take it public, and we could scale it. And I figured out why not help more small business with the same idea. So I created a product back in 2002 called Successful. It was a business in a box. And I gave you a website, a merchant account, we gave you a business plan, and got you organized with Franklin Covey and said, go get them. I didn't really care what your business was. Does that make sense? It wasn't my job. My job was not to tell you what you're great at. It was to give you a system and a process to win. And within 20 months, we were in 20 countries selling that little business in a box. And people said, oh man, you got lucky. We didn't get lucky. We were organized. Does that make sense? We were prepared. But we also had great marketing partners. And I will tell you the greatest investment you're ever going to make is in something called relationships. What's it called? The mistake we make is we think we want to invest in buy this ad or buy that ad. I'm telling you, invest in people. It'll pay you a lifetime of dividends. So in 2005, we launched an incubator course called Rainmaker. And the idea was that we could find deals. I took 15 years of my knowledge of turnarounds and taking companies public and said, why not create a course to help all entrepreneurs? It was a 3-day course back then. It worked on vision, mission, path, purpose, write your grants, write your books, write your business plans, become better public speakers, help you understand social funnels, sales funnels, loyalty programs. And we did it with the intention that we could find deals to put our money into. And the idea became a 4-time-a-year program, wound up being 6 days, 4 times a year now. And you get to bring 4 people with you now. Now it's all on digital marketing and AI, and it's about public speaking and all the business stuff. We charge $5,000 for the 4 days, 6 times a year. And if we send you clients, you send us a check. How many guys would promise to never get amnesia? Say that's me. We send people clients and they forget where the clients came from. What we realized was that most businesses lack one very important factor in their business. Write it down. It's called marketing. They don't realize that marketing is a big part of the story. We included business coaching for the whole year every week. We included a big community to talk to. And the idea, once again, was that by 2007, we launched a venture fund. 2008, masterminds. 2009, inspiration conferences. 2010, the Platinum Program for those who want to learn to speak and sell from stage. I began to coach and train guys like Brian Tracy and Mark Victor Hansen and Les Brown and John Gray, John Asseroff, Sharon Lecter. All became students that we helped launch and take their companies on a larger scale and how to speak and sell from stage. We then launched a program called UWC, which is now UWC AICon, because it transitioned from just internet marketing and digital marketing to everything AI and everything that you're going to see happen. Believe it or not, the worst you're ever going to see from AI is what you see today. It's only getting better. And I'm going to give you guys tons of resources today. And then from that, I put $1 million in this idea called the Small Business Expo. People thought I was crazy. People don't go to these expos. We became the main sponsor. Within 5 years, 100,000 attendees a year. We brought on Google and AT&T. We brought on this little TV show called Shark Tank. But they were doing their tryouts at our shows. We brought on Chevy and American Express and all these big sponsors. And once again, people said, oh, I knew you could do it, right? But that was after the fact. How many here know you're a little crazy? Say, I am. I am. No, loud. Say, I am. A little crazy. A little crazy. Now turn left, right, and see. You don't know who you're sitting next to. You don't know who you're sitting next to. Because one person, how many? One. Can change your life forever. Yes. Say, I have. I have. No, loud. Say, I have. I have. Big things to do. Big things to do. Now turn left, right, one more time and see. You definitely don't know who you're sitting next to. How many of your family thought you were nuts when you started your business? That's not going to work. That's a dumb idea. You should go get a job. You make $1 million, you become a genius, yes or no? Yeah. I knew you could do it. Could you buy me a car? Could you buy me a house or something like that, right? It's funny how family is, man. I don't know. How many guys want to make a lot more money? Say, that's me. That's me. Take out your phone today. Get rid of all the negative people. Take them out of your phone. Change your voicemail tonight. Hey, I see you called. Your call is very important to me, but at this time in my life, I'm making some major changes. And if I don't call you back, you're obviously one of them. Like, oh, I can't do that. Write down this name, Jim Rohn. He was Tony Robbins' first coach. He said, you can help 1,000, but you can't carry 3. We seem to carry a lot of people. 2014, we created business courses on, digital marketing and write your books. And 2017, we created a course called Icon for those who want to become just better public speakers. We went into COVID, went fully digital. We went through all the country club networks because, believe it or not, in the South, country clubs never closed because golf was a necessary business. Is that kind of crazy? We kept doing workshops during that time. Now we launched a new TV network called GBN. So we now are helping people do these 20 for 20 documentaries. We're teaching everyone here, write this down, launch your own TV membership site. Just write it down today. Bill said I should launch a TV membership site. Yeah. Got a friend that's in LA right now. He's making $100 million a month on a $6 TV membership site. See, if you have a good idea, you should probably bring it to the major networks and have your own broadcasting channel about your own IP. Please don't let anybody else discount your intellectual property. Now we've teamed up with this group here called the Franchise Expo. We love what they're doing to bring on workshops and trainings and new ideas and new business things that we believe that I don't care how good you are, it's all about who your network is. Does that make sense? And so today I'm going to give you guys a lot of really cool insights. I'll pick 5 people here today, work with you guys for a whole year, help you launch, grow, and build a better business. But I want to have some fun, and I want you guys to think of this like you're in a boardroom today. Would that be okay? Even though there's about 60 of us in the room right now, I want you to think you're in a boardroom. And here's the questions you're going to get in a public boardroom. They're going to ask you, number 1, how's your family? Number 2, how's the money? That's what they talk about. And I will tell you, of all the things that I've done, there's literally nothing more important than watching my kids grow up and become good humans, right? I want to give it back to Austin. He's my oldest son that you just heard up here. He travels the world, runs a SaaS company called Mobex Pro. That's my daughter right there to my right, your left. That's Marissa. She's a PA in dermatology at Northwestern Hospital in Chicago. And my youngest son, Evan, over to the left-hand side, he's a DJ. He lives in Vegas. He plays at a place called Rain Day Club. And so I will tell you this, that all the money's great. Nothing more important in life than watch your kids grow up and become fine humans. Does that make sense? Yes. I've been very honored to be able to help a lot of businesses. I've spoken to more than 1 million people. I've done more than 5,000 presentations. We've had more than 100,000 people go through our courses and our programs and our digital programs and our events, because I know for a fact that small business needs help. You know, and our business today looks like this. You get an idea, right, that even though you kind of see how it started, right, that's not where it was at before, right? Now it's a global brand. We've got all kinds of partnerships and businesses, and I run a hotel in Vegas. I help politicians with their elections. I've helped RFK Jr. I'm hosting President Trump June 8th in Vegas with a whole other group that's out there with a guy named Dana White and Mark Wahlberg. So I understand what it takes to launch small business, and I understand what it takes to scale big business. I have legit billionaires that are clients. I have people that are just starting brand new companies as clients, and everything in between. But I want you guys to realize that there's things happening out there today that are affecting small business. And it's either we step up and help small business or we're done. People don't realize 90% of the workforce comes from small business. It doesn't come from these big companies. So I'm working with governors right now to help impact that we can bring in the big names, but wrap the big names around, small business. Because we figured out that there's a lot of money out there for you to go in these different markets to expand your companies, and yet most people never apply for them. But I've got a question before we dive in today. Why do you think it is that so many small businesses don't make it? Don't have what? Knowledge. What else? By a show of hands, how many of you guys know some smart people that are broke? How many of you guys are idiots that are wealthy? So it's not just the knowledge, right? Experience for sure. What else? Lack of capital. What else?
Leveraging time and
marketing. Patience for sure. See, that's why franchising is so good. And I want to give you guys both sides of the equation, because I work with small business that aren't even franchised, but I think the reason so many franchises win, write this down, they have systems. Systems win, people fail. The fact is almost 86% of small businesses don't make it 1 year. Half of them don't make it 5 years. And I will give you the number one killer for small business, write this down, it's called self-doubt. Henry Ford said it best. He said, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're what? You're right. So when I think about businesses, they quit. They have these great ideas, and then all of a sudden they run their credit cards up or their family's credit cards, and now they're out of business. But what I'm going to do with you guys today is take you on a journey. It's called the income journey. What's it called? How many think it's important? You got to make some money, yes or no? You do, but the problem is that most people are programmed around money in the wrong direction. Try to finish this sentence for me. Money doesn't grow on... But if you ask the kids in Colorado, they'd say it does, yes or no. They might say it's weed-like, but have they gotten paid, yes or no? How about this one? Money's the root of all. You guys had the same parents I had, right? They told me the same exact thing. I remember when I was a young kid, my dad said, you got to cut the grass. I said, no, Dad, I got to get the grass cut. There's a difference in those two things, yes or no. I had a paper out, so I figured why not employ some of my brother's broke friends to cut grass, and I can make some of the money from that. Think like an entrepreneur. For the next 40 minutes, put your entrepreneur cap on. Would that be okay? I want you to think like you're part of a board of directors. And I want you to think like you're getting feedback from your own board inside your own business. And I really want you to really play full out. Can you guys play full out for like 40 minutes? Say hell yeah. Okay. So I want you to think of a number right now, right? I want to take you back to 2005 when we started this venture of Powerteam International. And I figured out that we could teach a business course 4 times a year. And my goal is pretty simple. Can we just make an extra $1 million for the year? That was the goal, right? But I want you guys to think about today, what's your goal? What's your goal for the next 12 months in your business? You got a worksheet right here. You can just write the number down. Write down whatever your money goal is. Write your money goal down, then tell me. Shout out, what's your money goal? Come on, let me hear some. Guys, this is the board of directors. If you're with your chairman of your board, you're going to answer. Does that make sense? 100 million. Good. Who else? 10 million. Who else? 50 grand, anybody? It's okay? 100 grand, right? What do you guys have? Come on, let me hear some real numbers.
60,000.
60,000. What do you got? 500,000. What do you got? 100,000. Okay, so write the numbers down. You don't have a pen? Go get a pen. They're in the back. Don't got a sheet of paper? We'll get you a sheet of paper. We'll get you a worksheet. Hold your hand if you don't got a worksheet. Guys, you're going to take the worksheet home. Does that make sense? What I will teach you guys about this income system, it'll change your whole life if you're open to it. See, for most of our life, we've been programmed to how much money you're going to make. Does that make sense, everybody? But it's not the answer because we have negative anchors around money. If you look at Starbucks, right here, Scott, right up, we need a pen and paper. If we look at Starbucks or Walmart or McDonald's, who's ever driven past the front of McDonald's? Anybody? What does it say on all the signs? Does it say we make billions selling you subpar hamburgers? It says billions and billions what? Served. Now think in your business today. See, we figured out to make $1 million, 4 weekends a year of training, an extra $1 million, right? If we charge $5,000 per client, and that's you plus 4 of your team, all we had to do was serve 200 clients. Does it make sense to everybody? It meant we had to serve 50 clients a quarter. It meant all we had to do was serve 17 clients a month. Now, does this sound different than make $1 million, yes or no? Which one sounds easier? Make $1 million or serve 17 clients? I want you to change everything you've learned about money and shift it to how many clients you have to serve. Stop chasing the money. The money is a byproduct of great service. Does that make sense? So shift all of your thinking today from I'm going to make $1 million or $10 million or $100 million or 50 grand to I'm going to serve X number of clients per year, which means X number of clients per quarter, X number of clients per month, and then of course per week, and then of course per day. But what we really figured out from this is that if we just had 170 qualified leads, which meant if I could just get in front of 45 people a week, I could make the extra $1 million. Now, how many like the idea of communicating in a way that's not about the money, but it's all about the clients you serve, yes or no? Would this be a game changer for your business, yes or no? How many here believe that you could use more qualified leads? What if it was just an extra 20 qualified leads a month? Not 100, not 500, just 20 qualified leads. Would that be helpful for your business, yes or no? See, this is what we did. When we launched Rainmaker, the idea was to help people stop chasing money and only focus on how many clients you're going to serve. And it's changed the clients I've worked for over the years, whether it's Keller Williams or Mandalay Bay or the lottery or brand new startups in between. It didn't matter. It changed the philosophy of business. Now it just started to say, well, how do I get in front of that group? How do I get an extra 100 qualified leads a month? And what would that mean in actual real revenue? So I'm going to give you guys a couple of tools you can use today. Would that be okay? Now, a lot of these tools are free. I know you're used to paying for all this stuff, thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm going to tell you as a small business or as a franchise, you've got to be frugal, yes or no? You've got to realize that technology is moving at a pace that no one's ever imagined. But if you're not using some of these tools, you're missing out. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to look at 4 quadrants when it comes to understanding business. The first quadrant is called the expert quadrant. What's it called? The second thing you're going to do. First of all, how many of you guys are coachable? Coachable, yes. How many of you guys won't raise your hand no matter what the fuck I say? It's okay. I still love you. It's okay. Is that all right? So let's go through this path. Your next thing to do is write a book. Tonight, you're all going to become published authors. Is that clear? Well, maybe not published authors. How about the fact that you just have a book cover? You don't have to be a published author. You have to have a book cover. Is that clear? So you all create a book cover tonight. You go to a website called Canva. What's it called? Canva. It's right there on the screen in case you missed it. Create the book cover. Go to Facebook tomorrow after the book cover is done. You're going to create 2 things on Facebook. Write this down, a Facebook community. It's free. The community is not the name of your company, but it's the industry that you serve. And you only put content in the community. No sales at all content. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to create a page. It's called a business page as an author on Facebook. Write it down. You'll forget it later. Business page as an author. You upload the photo of your book. Now, when's your book coming out? Write this down. Q2 of 2026. I don't care if your book ever comes out. Is that clear? The fact that you announce a book makes a big deal, yes or no? It gets you in the news. Now, the minute this is done, you're all going to launch something called a podcast. What's it called? Podcast. Now, here's the secret about the podcast. It's not a soapbox. It's a podcast. There's a company called Anchor. It's owned by a big company called Spotify. So now you're going to launch your podcast with Spotify. How much does that cost? Oh, that's right. It's free also. It costs you nothing. Go to GoDaddy, pay the $15, point your domain to your new podcast. What's your first name, sir? Omar's Global Podcast. I don't care what you call it. Does that make sense? Omar and Omar, maybe that's a new show right here. Omar and Omar. There's your podcast. Boom. You interview 2 people a month. How many? 2. I will give you all the questions. I will tell you who to interview. They're going to be experts in your niche. You're like, I'm going to promote the best people in my class. Yeah, you're going to promote the best people in your industry. See, because they don't know you yet, but they know them. Does that make sense? When you interview, I'm going to call and say, Omar, I'd love to have you on our global podcast. We've just teamed up with Spotify. We'd love to have you on our global podcast. Would you like to be part of the global podcast, Omar? Omar's like, yeah. Omar doesn't know that my global podcast has 4 followers, yes or no? 2 are my parents and 2 are my kids, right? That's our whole group. But it doesn't matter, does it? Because Omar wants more what? He wants more traction for his story. See, the biggest, most successful names in the world always want more of anything that broadcasts their message. Is that clear? These 20-minute broadcasts are sliced up. There's an app called InShot. Write down InShot. Cuts it up, pushes out 1-minute socials to all your social channels. The other one's an app called Captions. Write down Captions. For $20 a year, it gives you all those fancy emojis. It makes a little fancy video for you. It costs you next to nothing. Is that okay with you guys? So the podcast is 20 minutes long, becomes 20 1-minute soundbite segments. Those are used to market on all your social channels. Because once again, you're the person that needs to get your message out there. They know about them, they don't know about you. Is that clear? Correct. Now, the minute this is all done, how many people by a show of hands would like more media? TV, radio, internet. How many would like to have your message on TV, radio, and all for free? Okay, so how many of you guys currently use Haro? 1. Haro, H-A-R-O. How many of you guys have no idea what Haro even is? Never even heard it before. Write this down. It stands for something called Help a Reporter Out. Help a Reporter Out. It's free. But don't go there without your book cover, without your influencer site, without your podcast, because they won't know who you are. Is that clear? Only pick one area of expertise. Don't say that cut grass, fix your house, paint your boat. I'm also a LASIK surgeon. It's like, no, I'm good. Pick one area of expertise for Haro. Is that clear? Now it's actually, I believe, owned by maybe a group called Collective, but I'm going to give it once again. There's the link for it right there. So all you have to do once this is done is get yourself published there. Now, anytime you're published, write this app down called Pingler, P-I-N-G-L-E-R. Pingler's $3 a month, and every time you're published on social or you're published on a network, I've been on ABC, NBC, Fox, CNN, all of them, right? Anytime I'm published, I use Pingler to ping it. It says that a third party just talked about you. It's kind of like how Google backlinks used to work, except it's still legit today. Does that make sense? Pingler didn't get shut off. Pingler means that someone else just said something about what you are doing. And it's going to drive your page on SEO to #1 for less than $3 a month. Would that be okay? Facebook post, YouTube post, anything you post that has more than 50 comments or like, you ping. Is that clear? How many of you guys could swing the $3 a month? Say that's me. How many of you guys could use help with all this stuff? Hands up high and say that's me. Who would like to be part of an incubator group right here in Orlando? What if it was tough? We meet 4 times a year. We meet in Chicago coming up next. We'll be there at the end of June. We meet in Orlando in September, Vegas in December. We meet 4 times a year, 6 days at a time to work on this stuff. It's very much like an entrepreneur MBA. Does that make sense? With a big-ass network. And you'll have to put the work into it. I will tell you this, you'll hate me for 90 days. Would that be okay? But man, you'll love it after that. Now here's what's next. Now this stuff is done, yes or no? The minute this is all done, you're going to have to create something called an executive business summary. Write down executive business summary. It's a 2-page document. We're going to give this to you. That goes into what's called a 20-page SBA plan. You have to fill in the blanks for the SBA plan. Is that clear too, yes or no? How many here are willing to put the work into it? So here's the next thing you have to do. You have to apply for 4 grants a quarter. How many? 4. I'm not talking about big grants. I'm talking about grants that are under $100,000. $2,500 here, $5,000 there, $2,000 there, $10,000 here. Who can tell me one great thing about grants? Anybody know? You don't got to pay it back. We'll make 40 phone calls to our broke friends and family trying to borrow money when there's free money out there. Here's the number. $500 billion never gets used every year. How many here believe it's your time to get some free money, yes or no? Part of our program will give you 60 places to apply for the grants. You never want the grants, write this down, over 100 grand. Apply for the small grants. You won't get the big grants. If you do, it takes 2 years. Most of the folks that apply for the big grants, they have lawyers. They have what? Lawyers. They have teams that apply for all the grants. Most of the small grants, they never even apply for. There's Citi grants, there's FedEx grants, there's Jack Daniels grants, there's IKEA grants. And yet most people never even apply for any of them. Does that make sense? So part of our program is to make sure, once again, you get this stuff done. I know for a fact this is not easy, but it's possible. Who believes they could use help with all these things again? Let me put your hands up high. Let me see. I know it because I know that most people don't apply for grants. If I actually looked at your companies and you showed me the numbers, how many think it's important to start applying for grants, though? If that's the only thing I trained you on was applying for grants, it'll more than pay for the $5 grand you paid for the course. Is that clear? But we also make sure you guys get your books done. Is that kind of cool? I will teach you specifically how to become an Amazon best-selling author. Would that be okay? Who's ever thought about publishing a book? When do you think it would be a good time to publish your book?
No.
Without having to pay 5 or 10 or 20 grand. Let me give you quadrant 2. Also just as important. It's called the empowered quadrant. What's it called? Empowered. There's 2 sides of this quadrant. There's 2 coins here to say. One's called teams, one's called systems. Write down teams and systems inside this quadrant. These are the teams you have to have. Number 1, outsourcing. Get a VA. Get a VA, $7-9 an hour, $7 to $9 an hour, 10 hours a week. They do 3 things for you: research, email, social media. Email, social media, and research. Get that off your plate. Get the stuff that you know is just busy work off your plate. The second thing, a board of advisors. You all need to have a local board of advisors. We will connect you with a group in every state in America where you can get a board of advisors. They work on one thing. They work on what's called relationship capital. That's all you want them for, is relationship capital. Does that make sense? The minute you start to realize that there's people more connected than you are, your journey becomes a lot easier. I didn't know Mark Victor Hansen or Les Brown or Brian Tracy. But I knew for a fact that if I got in the right groups, right, magic would happen. The third group you have to have, write this down too, is called mastermind groups. There's always 3 masterminds. But there's 2 books you have to pick up today if you're an entrepreneur. One's called Think and Grow Rich. It's by Napoleon Hill. The second book is called Outwitting the Devil. Write it down, Outwitting the Devil. It's by Napoleon Hill and another brilliant lady. She co-wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Her name is Sharon Lechter. These are 2 books that are non-negotiable to be an entrepreneur. Outwitting the Devil. The first book is called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The masterminds you're going to launch, one's called a virtual group. So pick 4 people in your phone you look up to. Just 4. And meet once a month virtually. Go over the phone. Work on 3 things: big goal, big challenge, and help you need. Please understand, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with a great team. So don't try to talk to your broke brother-in-law, does that make sense, about advice. Because there's a reason they're broke. I don't care what the reason is, there's a reason they're broke. They're not going to help you, is that clear? Yes. Go around people that, I don't care, and people say, does that mean they got to be wealthy in money? I said, no, they got to be wealthy in mind. It's a big difference. Yes. You can be broke, I've been broke, guys, a lot of times. I've been broke and I've been wealthy. Write this down, broke sucks, yes or no? But you'll always find your real friends. It's not when you're wealthy. Everyone wants to go on the jet. Everyone wants to go on the boat. They want to go on all the party, right? It's when you have no money, who rings your phone? Those are your real friends. Pay really close attention to that. Second group you got to have, when you make more money, join more masterminds. Join more think tanks. Make more money, write this one down, host your own. Begin to host young entrepreneurs that are trying to be up and coming. Do a breakfast club, do a lunch club, do something once a month where you give back and serve others. You will get so much reward from this. If you do pick up the book called Think and Grow Rich, you'll read the mastermind chapter. It will tell you that the masterminds provided the economic engine for every other chapter in the book. I don't care if it was Edison, Rockefeller, they all had masterminds or think tanks. Charles Schwab, they all had groups around them. Ask yourself today, who do you lean on when it comes to business advice? Now you'll have a 2,000 person network, does that make sense? Of rainmakers all over the world. This is almost our 20th year doing the program. It's not new. But we're always looking for those new deals, new ideas, new partnerships, right? I know in this room today there's probably a dozen folks say, Bill, I need help with all these things. And you got to make a commitment, right? We have coaching calls every week. You got to put the work into it. You got to write your SBA plan. You're like, oh, I don't have all this. You can come with no idea at all. We have people called whiteboard customers. They have no business at all. They come and launch a new business. We have folks in class doing $200 million a year because they learn how to sharpen the axe. Does that make sense? Doesn't matter what level you're at. It's not about where you're at, guys. Write this down. It's not about where you're at. It's about where you're going. Is that clear? But the other thing you got to have is you got to have influencers. You got to learn to partner with influencers. Who believes here today if Oprah said she liked your book sales would skyrocket? So if I went to YouTube right now and I typed in your name or the name of your company, how many influencers currently market for you? How many can I find right now on YouTube that their video is there talking about your $100 million business or your new $60,000 business, right? How many think that could be helpful, yes or no? See, when I was a kid, I wasn't around millionaires or billionaires. Does that make sense? I didn't have that luxury. But I knew if I could learn the skill set how to connect with millionaires and billionaires and wildly successful entrepreneurs, I could probably have a better chance. So I did it wrong for years. But we'll teach you guys how to have the best connections, the best partnerships. If you go online today, you can look at Bill Walsh and Les Brown, or Bill Walsh and Mark Victor Hansen, or Brian Tracy, or Sharon Lechter. They've all produced videos talking about our brands and products and services. I didn't know them, but I knew of them. Does that make sense? So make a list right now of your Fab 10. Who's in your Fab 10? It could be a mayor. It could be a head of a church. It could be someone that has a big following that if they get behind your products or services, you're going to knock it out of the park. People say, well, Bill, how do I get to those people? Write this down. You pick one good charity event per month to go to. Put yourself in charitable, contribution-based events with rock star individuals. That makes sense? Don't go there for the red carpet and for the dinner. Go there early and help set up. Stay late and help with the breakdown. I don't care what it is. You want to make sure, once again, they know who you are. And don't go alone. Write this down. Go with a tribe. If I'm bringing Connor, for example, Connor has a microgreens business. He sells product all over the world. He's 18 years old. But if I bring Connor with me, Connor goes and talks about me, and I go talk about Connor. Does that make sense? See, if I edify Connor, it's different than if Connor edifies Connor, yes or no? And I'm going to make sure we show up early, we stay late, so whoever runs that event, they know who we are. Because we're there to serve first. I've made more partnerships from charitable contribution events than any dollar or ticket or cent I've ever paid for. Does that make sense? So get yourself way out ahead of the curve and figure out, spending more time with the right people could change everything, yes or no? But making sure you're prepared for it, that's second to none. The other team you have to have, write this down, it's called an internal team. You got to have a good core team. Here's the two people you have to have. Number one, an accountant. Number two, a lawyer. If you ever want to go public, keep good books, have a good lawyer, yes or no? You can do all this through fractional now. You can have fractional marketing, fractional law. You know, there's so many new tools that are out there for small business and partnerships. Leverage all of them. Now on the system side, flip the coin for a second. These are systems you have to win in business. Number one, a good loyalty program. Number two, a good referral program. You want to kick up your revenue? Put a referral button right on your website. If you don't have a referral button on your website, you're missing out on 10% of your gross revenue. If you guys have clients, how many of you guys actually have a business? Hands up high. Been in business more than 5 years. More than 10 years. Wow. More than 15 years. Stand up. More than 15 years. Stand up. 15 years. Give them a round of applause. That's rare air. No, stand up. Don't be shy. Stand up. You guys should all find these people afterwards. Does that make sense? Because if they can make it 5 years, it's a miracle. Is that clear? Get around people that they're winners, man. And I'm sure they'll tell you all the challenges they've had. But that's part of the journey. Now, systems you also have to have, write this one down, it's called a good sales process. Number 3 is a sales process. 3 parts of the process: prospecting process, activation process, and this is important, everybody, retention process. You see, 20 years later, 20 plus years, I'm still partners with Franklin Covey. They have a software CRM system that's around $15 a month that can run all your sales processes. Is that crazy? You can upload 1 million contacts into their system. It's okay. But if you don't build a process for each thing, there's no way to win. You're going to fail. I believe success leaves a lot of clues, yes or no. What I do really well is make sure you guys have the right tools and the right systems. I don't tell you what business to do. That's not my gig. You know what you're great at. Figure out where the world's going, get there first. Solve some problems. Make something better. Get ahead of the curve. But this is where all the fun is at to me, right? In addition to that, this is important when it comes to your sales process. Create your Bugatti offer. Create your super high-priced offer. Whatever your offer is, create something that's out of this world. Can anybody tell me how you buy a Bugatti? How many of you guys don't even know what a Bugatti is? It's okay. Bugatti's a very expensive car, right? How do you buy a Bugatti? Who can tell me? With cash. They don't do any financing. Does that make sense? Don't got the $2 million? No Bugatti for you. There are people that can't wait to have the $2 million just to go buy a what? A Bugatti. It's crazy. See, if you don't offer something crazy high-priced, people won't ask for it. But there are certain customers who get to know you, like you, trust you. They're going to want your top offer. Whatever your best thing is, they're going to want that. It's your job to create that as part of your sales process. You've got to learn to close one-on-one. Does that make sense? You've got to learn to ask for the check. Some people are afraid to ask in sales, right? We'll teach you how to get over all that fear. Be totally authentic. I know for a fact that if you don't do our course, it's okay. My life will not change at all. We'll jump on the jet. We'll be out of here tomorrow, right? Life will not change at all. But I know for a lot of people that say, listen, Bill, I need help with writing grants. I need help with writing my book. I need help with media. I need help with a better business plan. I need help with partnerships. I'd like to meet some of these people. Because if you try to go it by yourself, it's going to take too long. Does that make sense? So you start to realize these things, and I started to realize inside the sales process, we also teach SEO, how to get on page 1 organically. But I will tell you one of the most important things when it comes to this sales process, the empowered phase, it's called marketing. It's about marketing strategy. So let's talk marketing strategy for a minute. If you guys are on Facebook, write this down. Use an app called Creator. Get the blue check mark for your business page. Business page, use an app called Creator for pushing out your videos. If you guys use LinkedIn, there's a service called, once again, Linked Helper. It's 100 connections a day through Linked Helper for $1 a day. See, once again, there are ninjas that are out there doing this stuff, and here's what we teach at Rainmaker. You learn it, you do it, you delegate it. You learn it, you do it, you delegate it. On Instagram, there's something called Reels. Learn to use these 1-minute Reels. Use InShot as a tool to push it all out. But don't be lazy with your marketing. Is that clear? I will also tell you this. There's probably another thing that most people don't even think about, and I know it's important, but most of your clients are visuals, yes or no? Yes. So it's important. This company's called Vistaprint. What's it called? Vistaprint. These cost 50 cents a folder. So invest in a folder for your client. Oh, I don't want to spend the money. Then don't spend the money. Someone else with an inferior product of yours will have better marketing, and they'll get your client. Who's ever seen great products nobody buys? Who's ever seen shitty products everyone buys? What's the difference? Marketing. Really? Pet rock? How does that work for you? Good marketing, yes or no? Yeah. Great marketing. See, what you also want to do is get yourself positioned and get a story done. There was a Bill Walsh thing in there. Could you guys find me the Bill Walsh magazine, guys? Not in here? Get yourself featured in third-party advertorials. Get yourself in third-party advertorials. Whether it's the LA Tribune or Success Magazine, there's a company, write this down, called M13 Graphics. M13 Graphics. Anytime you're featured somewhere, in any magazine, any story, always make sure you ask for something called reprint rights. What are they called? Reprint rights. The reprint rights are a game changer. But now you can republish these. Thanks, yeah. It looks something like this, you guys. Look up here. Something like this. This was done 5 years ago, but I can still what? Use the reprint rights. Over and over and over. How many think it's important that someone else talks about you versus you talk about you? All day long. In addition to that, I love these cards. Invest in postcards. The front's always big print, the back is details. Is that clear? These 6x9 cards, 1,000 cards, less than a couple $100. The company's called Next Day Flyers. Write down Next Day Flyers. In Florida, the company's called PK Graphics. It's the #1 shipper in the whole state of Florida. It's called PK Graphics. These were designed originally for nightclubs. I'm telling you, for small business, invest in 6x9 cards. I also like, guys, no more business cards, only gift cards. Stop passing out shitty business cards that says AOL or Gmail or Yahoo. Is that clear? If your business card says Yahoo or it says AOL, if it's AOL, they think you're a dinosaur, yes or no? They're not going to tell you this. If it says Yahoo, they think you're a Yahoo. You only brand your own domain. You always have QR codes on the back of your cards. You always have a text opt-in. Always give away some kind of gift. It's a mistake that people don't realize that you'll never get a second chance to make that first impression. Is that clear? I will also tell you this. There's a new tool, write this down, called brochure forms. What's it called? These are brochure forms. Stop passing out crappy old contracts. The top of your form is always going to be the brochure. Is that clear? The back side, inside, always in color. And the bottom's always the order form. The company's called U-Printing. Write down U-Printing. You can get these from U-Printing, 27 cents a piece. It'll increase your conversions dramatically. Is that clear, everybody? Yes or no? They're all little things, but they're big things, yes or no? I see entrepreneurs that are super talented and they miss having the right tools. You bring all your stuff to class. The next class will be in Chicago. I think it's the end of June, 6 days. Now it's split into 3 sections. The business course, digital marketing AI, public speaking. Is that clear? 3 different programs all in one package. $5,000 for the whole year. You get to bring 4 people with you, and you can bring your kids. Now these are not your kids that are 35. Is that clear? They're not kids anymore. They can pay for their own ticket, yes or no? But it's your kids 12 to 21. We let them all come for free. See, even if you don't sign up, sign your kids up. Greatest thing in life is have your kids become entrepreneurs. I think it's a mistake that we don't teach kids how to balance a checkbook in this country. They sure are teaching them a lot of bullshit, aren't they? But don't teach them what they actually need to know. I believe that if every kid was trained how to be an entrepreneur, we'd have a much better world. Make them go through the process of this, right? But in addition to this, I do believe that if you're not using mobile, you're done. We're going to teach you guys how to use mobile marketing. There's enough software, right? This software called Mobex Pro. Write down M-O-B-E-X Pro, mobexpro.com. It is probably the coolest piece of software. It's a partnership with a company called Zoom. It gives you a 500-person Zoom account. It lets you build your entire mobile funnel that will follow up with your customers for life. Would that be okay? You see, most people buy between the 11th and 17th time they're told about something, and yet most salespeople never call more than 4 times. Mobex Pro lets them text in 1 time and follow up for life. In the entire package, it's $100 a month. How much? If you went and tried to buy the Zoom Pro package, it's $150 a month for that alone. If you guys are not using educational marketing, these are 3 tools you want to write down. Number 1, you probably heard it's called Eventbrite. Number 2 is called Zoom. Number 3 is called Vimeo. Those can all work together in a marketing strategy because now you can record something 1 time, you can broadcast it to your entire network for next to nothing. Would that be okay? See, it's either you use technology or it gets used against you. The last thing we started to figure out as we kind of flipped this coin was that once you start to have this stuff in place, I see a lot of people miss this one. They miss it big time. It's called exposure. What's it called? Exposure. So you're going to have to work on your public speaking. Is that okay? Yes. There's a guy, you probably heard his name. Write this name down, Warren Buffett. Here's what Buffett said. He said the #1 skill set for all entrepreneurs is public speaking. The #1 fear in the world is public speaking. But the fun part is go from public speaking to a conversation. Would that be okay? If you want to speak to millionaires in any town in the country, write this website down. It's called Vistage. V-I-S-T-A-G-E, Vistage. You want to be at Vistage events at least once a quarter. Now, the way you open the door for Vistage is your new what? Your new book. When's your book coming out, Omar? Q2 of 2026. Doesn't matter if your book ever comes out. No, it doesn't matter. What are you going to create tonight? Your what? Your book cover. What's the website for the book cover? Canva. How much does Canva charge to create the book cover? Want to speak to millionaires? There's the website. I like BNI. I like Rotary. I like chambers. Write this down, you guys. I like ethnic groups, women's groups, women empowerment clubs, chiropractic groups, law groups, real estate groups, associations. Write down associations. They're always looking for speakers. And now that you're going to be a new published author, say, I am. Loud, I am going to be an Amazon published author. How many books do you have to sell on Amazon to be an Amazon published author? Let me give you a hint. How many? So you call your mom. Call your girlfriend, your book. Could you just go buy one book? The minute they buy one book, what goes in all your socials? Amazon published author. Everyone say, ooh. See, to get on media, they will never let you talk about your business, but they'll let you talk about your what? Your book. And yet most people never figure this out. Does your book have to be published, yes or no? No. When's your book coming out? Q2 of 2026, yeah. Okay, 25 is great. You're way ahead of the curve. But the exposure side is also about you leveraging all this media, and here's where you have to leverage. Write this down, YouTube. We'll teach you guys how to build YouTube shorts. Little 1-minute videos on YouTube. The second, how many people currently have all of their content published on a TV network online called Twitch? How many guys have never even heard of Twitch? Hands up high. Never heard of Twitch. Okay, who knows what Twitch does then? It's a streaming service, right? But did you know that Twitch actually lets you put the stream service right on your website? And it's all how much money? Free. It's the 4th most visited website in the world, Twitch. It's owned by a little company called what? Anybody know? Amazon. So now you get free Amazon video hosting, S3 hosting on Twitch, which then broadcast on your website for how much money? How many of you guys could swing that budget, yes or no? Companies will charge you thousands of dollars to set this up. You can do it all for free. Now let me give you one more that goes along with this. Write this one down too. It's called StreamYard. Who can tell me what StreamYard does? Anybody know? One person in the whole room. 2. StreamYard lets you launch your own TV network for $1 a day. Now you can launch your podcast, all your videos. You can broadcast on YouTube. You can broadcast on Twitch. You can do interviews. You can actually have it all recorded through StreamYard on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, on your multiple pages inside of Facebook, all for $1 a day. Say, I have. No, loud. Say, I have. Big things to do. Now turn left, right, and say, you don't know who you're sitting next to. You could be sitting next to a published author, don't even know it, yes? See, if you don't believe in yourself, why would somebody else? Does that make sense? What I love to do is take your greatness and bring it to market. I'm really good at pulling out what you're great at and how to monetize it. I've been doing it for a long, long time. But you got to have some belief in yourself, yes or no? Yes. You got to be willing to commit. How many of you guys can work just a couple hours a week on yourself and your business? Hands up high and say, that's me. What if I told you that you would hate me for the first 90 days? Would that be okay? But man, you'd love me for the rest of your life. I can tell you the last part of the equation, which is probably the toughest part of the equation. And before I do that, I want to give away something. How many of you guys like free gifts, yes? How many here would like to learn how to network from the front of the room versus the back of the room? See, the back of the room, it's called spray and pray. Do you ever see people with business? Here's my business card. It comes like out of their sleeves, like, and they throw you their business. Here's my business card. Call me. Call me. No one's going to call you. Does that make sense? Where do most of those cards go? Go in the garbage. Who would like to learn how to network from the front of the room? Say, that's me. I'll give you an example. Who's ever seen a movie called The Secret? Have you seen that? I wrote a best-selling book called The Obvious. Who would like a copy of my book today? Who would like our newsletter free for the entire year? Now, one of my other partnerships is with a guy named Lee Steinberg. Who's ever heard of Lee Steinberg? There's a movie about in his life called Jerry Maguire. He's also a guy named Patrick Mahomes, sports agent. Or who's ever heard of Mark Victor Hansen? He wrote a book called Chicken Soup for the Soul. Who would like to meet one of those two people? Hands up high and say, that's me. So everyone gets a book today. Everyone gets our newsletter free for the whole year. But one person will get a chance to meet either one of those individuals at one of our upcoming UWC AI conferences. So let's see how fast you guys are. Take out your phones. Let's see how fast you are. You got a phone? Let's see how fast you are. Quickly, I'll give you a second to get your phone out. This is a fun competition, right? Listen, that last little perk's like about $1,000 bonus ticket, so it's a pretty cool gift, right? You're going to text the word WIN. What's the word? Win. Text the word WIN right now to this number, 26786. It's on the bottom of all your sheets. Text the word WIN to 26786. Let's see how fast you are. Text the word WIN to 26786. Now, let me know if you get a message back. Let me know. You got a message back already? Now, anybody get a message back yet? Text the word WIN to 26786. Let me know if you get a message back. So, get a message back yet? Somebody? Maybe? Possibly? Did you get a message? So, did you text the word WIN to 26786. Now, how many of you actually see me take my phone out and text you back? Did you see me actually message you back? Yes or no? Now, the neat part of, what's that? Did you get a message in yet? No messages for you guys? You guys all on T-Mobile? No, just kidding. But you'll get a message back, and when you do, it's a copy of the book. You'll get a gift from us. I'm going to follow you for the rest of your life. Would that be? Oh, you got a message already? Now, did you see me message you? Did you see me message you? So think about this, right? How many people here like the idea of auto follow-up for life? How many like the idea that when you do webinars, telesummits, when you shoot videos, when you do TikTok, I don't care what you're doing, write this down. There's always a call to action. And the call to action is always a gift. It's a what? Gift. Always give away free stuff. And always give away some of your best stuff for free. Is that clear? Now, how many here could use more leads every month? If all we showed you how to do is get 25 qualified leads a month, how much would that be worth to your business? To talk to 25 super qualified people. See, that's what we do with entrepreneurs. We help you understand that, man, if you've got a cool idea, go to market with it. Now, the last quadrant is the toughest quadrant of all. We're going to finish in about 10 minutes here. I'm going to pick 5 people to work with for the whole year. Who would like to work with me directly for a whole year? Hands up high, let me see. Which means we're going to talk on the phone once a week. It's going to be on a group phone, right? I give up my number just so you can text me. I'm really bad by phone. But I want people here that'll put the work into it. Would that be okay? Now, you know it costs $5,000, so you got to figure that out. Whatever credit card gives you the most points, use that credit card. But I love to work with entrepreneurs that are hungry, right? The last part is the toughest part. It's called execution. And this is where it all starts, everybody. It all starts with this one word, how to execute. So here's things you have to do. We give you what's called a success planner. The success planner is to fill in the year of your life when it comes to family, faith, and fun. You think it's all about business. It's not. Fill out family, faith, and fun. The next thing is called legacy and vision. The legacy is where do you plan to be 100 years from today? Not you, your work. I know we're all going to be 100 years from today. But is your work still here? What did you leave behind? The vision is the next 5 years of your life. We make you build a vision for your brand. In other words, where are you going? We make you build something called KPIs. Every week there's KPIs. Write this down. LPC, leads, presentations, and customers. LPC, LPC, LPC. You'll hate this for about 12 weeks. Then you'll love it. How many leads do we generate? How many presentations we make? How many customers we serve? All of your teams have to understand LPC. We train this to the biggest companies in the world. You can build your entire KPI sheet right inside Excel. Is that pretty cool, yes or no? You can track all your revenue every day. How many leads, how many presentations, how many new customers. And all of a sudden what starts to happen for businesses, you start to get results. Then we ask you to build your give back model. Every rainmaker should have a give back model, which means what's your plan in terms of philanthropic work? It's just not about making money. Does that make sense? It's not just making money. Did you make a difference? I'm looking for the entrepreneurs here today that are not just focused on making money, which is a great part of it, but are you willing to make a difference? And it's not about writing checks either, guys. Write this down. It's about giving back some of your time. I sit on a number of charitable boards. One of the best ones called a Safe Haven Foundation. We help 5,000 families a year out of homelessness. So it's not just that you made money. Did you actually make a difference? How many here would be willing to give back some of your time? Hands up high. If you're not willing to give back, don't join. I don't need your money. I can tell you right now that we need more philanthropic entrepreneurs that want to go and make a difference. Now, I do like the fact of making money. Is that okay first? And then also give back second. But it's got to be part of your mantra in your company. On your company website, there should be a button that says give back. Or a company that says our philanthropic work, something like that, right? Because here's a stat. 5 out of 6 of your customers would pay you more money because they know that you support a cause they believe in. Does that make sense? They'd even rather buy from you because they know you actually have a give back model built into your business. Sounds crazy, but it works. So when we start to look at all this together, it's a journey. It's a what? We're going to spend a whole year together. But here's what I love, everybody, just so you know, I love action takers. I love people who say, Bill, I'll put the work into it. I'm not afraid of the work. I'm hungry. I'm here on a Saturday. I'll come back on a Sunday, right? I'll do whatever it takes. But I know for a fact that you guys should have got the gift already. There's the gift we put up for you guys. So you all get a copy of my book digitally. You'll get our newsletter. Whoever the first one to opt in gets the gift where you get to meet either Mark or Sharon or Lee Steinberg at one of our upcoming events. But we put together a hell of a bundle for you guys as part of this Franchise Expo event. I love what Nick's doing. We're going to be at a bunch of their shows coming up. We thought about franchising too, so we're looking at the same thing you guys are looking at. We're looking at accept on the other side of it. But we have so many clients that have lots of great businesses. It's like, why not look at this, right? We're in a big hotel in Vegas right now. It could easily be franchised. It's a luxury boutique brand that we converted from a gambling facility that's now a very successful hotel. So there's lots of ideas that are out there, and you've got to figure out what's best. But I can tell you that this 1 year learning, this Rainmaker course, this track, it's second to none. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. I don't have any get-rich quick ideas. I don't have any like magic dust. It's like, take what your greatness is, let's monetize it. Take the business you're growing and let's help you scale it, right? At all different levels. But I know that most companies have to have better lead gen. They need to have better marketing. They should all be better public speakers. We spend a whole day just on public speaking. Literally how to do your TED Talks, how to get paid to speak. If you've ever thought about that, I'll walk you through the entire journey, and it's all inclusive in the program. Now, the one thing we do ask, if we send you clients, you send us a check. Would that be okay? I have a really big database, and if we can give you guys some business that we can figure out some ways to work together, I would love. Does anybody have products or service that sell back to small business? Does anyone have products for their entrepreneurship world at all? That's something you want to sell? If you have things like that, we'd love to figure out if there's a way that we could team up on some of those things. And I don't care if you're a brick and mortar company, 60% of our clients are brick and mortar. Around 20% are small office, home office. Around 10% are executives in transition. Another 10% are big companies. We have big companies that have put up to 1,000 of their employees through our programs. We can actually build the course for their whole company. Does that make sense? We work in all, I mean, you name the industry, we work in all those industries. So when you look at all the stuff that we incorporate, the 3-day course starts with our business course. We go through grants, barter, leadership, communication, vision, mission, building all your avatars out. Influencer partnership is probably one of the most important things. Most people don't realize that one influencer partnership can change your whole business. And you might be thinking, I don't know Hollywood celebrities. That's not who the influencers are a lot of times. They're called, write this down, they're called micro-influencers. They're right in your backyard. They might have 10,000 to 100,000 followers that are extremely well known in that market that's connected to your perfect customer. You'll all get copies of this too, guys. Lead gen, conversions, list building. We do a lot on list building, everybody. Our list now is, like I said, over 600,000 strong. We'll talk about publishing your book, public speaking, blockchain, NFT, SEO, and of course, sales automation. Sales automation, for me, everything's going mobile. Everything's going to the mobile phone. It's not going to slow down. Team building, KPIs, profit drivers, all part of the program. The class dates, even though that little picture you have is old, there should be some black cards. Where are those black cards at? Can we pass out some of the black cards? I don't know if we have enough of those, but we're going to give you the cards if it has all the dates for the whole year. If not, I'll put them up on the next screen for you guys. The entire program is $5,000 for the year. You guys can take a picture of the next screen probably. We didn't bring enough of this stuff, everybody. But this screen has all the events going through next year. You can see that's actually December, but it's the next one is going to be in Chicago. So if you see the June 21 to 23, then we go back to Dallas, we go back to Vegas. But it really does come down to that you get to bring 4 people with you. Does that make sense? We run the course 4 times a year. It's 6 days at a time. 3 days of business growth, 2 days of digital marketing AI, 1 day just on public speaking. So no matter where don't pass all those out because we need some for tomorrow too, buddy. We need some of that for tomorrow too, so don't give them all out. But also you can take a picture of the screen. But first of all, I want to figure out how many people here by a show of hands want to make the next year one of your best years ever. Hands up high, let me see. If that's you, stand up. Stand up. I didn't say your best year, I said one of your best years. So if you're still in your chair, you should probably get your ass out of your chair. Hey, listen, stay in your chair. Karma's a bitch, Omar. It's okay. Don't get up. No, you don't want. You want next year not to be so good. Just stay in your chair. It's okay. See, what I figured out is that entrepreneurs, the ones that are serious, they'll put the work into it. Does that make sense? So we've created something very special for you guys, and I know for a fact that if you're here, till the end of the show, you're probably serious about your business. Does that make sense? And what I'm looking for the entrepreneurs, we can create a case study around. We can build a story around your success. And I want the entrepreneurs that say, you know what, Bill, I'll do the work. Whatever it takes, I'll put the work into it. How many here feel a course like this could really change your business? Put your hands up high, let me see. And if that's you, come up front here. Come up front. It's okay, it's free to walk up here. I just want the ones that think it might be a good fit for them. Come on up front, it's okay, walk up. It's easy. It's okay, you can come with no business at all. You can say, I have no business at all, I want to create a business. It's okay, come up front, it's okay, have some fun. It's okay. Here's what I know. No one's going to do it for you. Does that make sense? And if you want to go very fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go with a kick-ass team, it's the only way to go far. You can't make it on your own. I've watched too many people fail. They live in a world called Busyville. What's it called? Busyville. You ever call I'm busy. Busy doing what? I know, but I'm busy. They go from Busyville to a place called Brokeville. They're busy and they have no money, yes or no? You know your friends, they got those alligator arms. You know what I'm talking about? You know, they got the 3-foot arms and the 4-foot pockets, right? The bill comes to them, they can never get in their pocket. They never get the money, right? But the roughest stop on the train, it's called Burnoutville. And this is where entrepreneurs die. And they give up. One of our goals is to help entrepreneurs avoid Burnoutville. Help entrepreneurs win. And I don't mean win a little, I mean win a lot. If you're going to win, you guys, win big. Give it everything you have. So I told my team, let's pick some entrepreneurs here today that'll put the work into it. We're going to give you guys a really cool bonus for the ones that take action today. It's an epic bonus. Because I love to go way beyond whatever you pay. If you pay someone or someone pays you, give them 10 times the value. Give them so much value they think you're nuts. Would that be okay? I'm going to invite you to come to Chicago, invite you to come to Orlando. We have the class here in September. Come to Vegas. We have it back in Dallas next year. It's a 1-year program. How long?
1 year.
It's 52 weeks of business coaching. Every week you're on the phone for a 20-minute hot session. We call it's so powerful that it's a super talk that is content rich about one topic. And it's recorded in your back office every week with Q&A. And then, of course, you get access to a 2,000-person club, or what we call a private community. Ask any question you want. Because I believe as entrepreneurs, we're all kind of crazy, yes or no? You might have some ideas at 2 in the morning. Now you get people to talk to. You get to be around other crazy entrepreneurs like yourself. You get all the course that's recorded. You get my direct number so you can shoot me a text. Would that be okay? And I will tell you this, that we like to have a lot of fun too. How many of you guys like to have a lot of fun? How many of you like to have a lot of fun and make some money? Say, that's me. So I'm going to pick a select group today that are really serious about this. You got to have your credit card. Whatever credit card is going to hold $5,000, that's a credit card you use. Does that make sense? But I'd like the fact that you say, I'll do the work, Bill. You know, I don't mind the first 90 days because you will hate the first 90 days. Would that be okay? If you're not going to write your business plan or apply for grants, don't come. It's okay, I don't mind. You're not going to change my life. But man, if you're serious about it and you really want to put the work into it, I'd love to work with you guys. But I just want the ones that are dead serious. I want the ones that say, Bill, I'll put the work into it. And if you need some financing, we do financing too, so don't worry about that. You say, Bill, I got a few things I got to work out, whatever it is, that's fine. We'll figure that out. But I want the ones that are serious. How many guys are actually going to put the work into it? Who would like to be part of this first group right here in Orlando? Who would like to be part of the first group? I'm going to give you guys a form. Take the form right back to Cheryl. You see Cheryl right there? You'll be number 1. Here, take the form to her. Quickly, take it right to her. Who else needs a form? You'll be number 2. You 2 guys right there. Guys, don't forget the program is good for you plus 4 people. You'll be number 3. Quickly, whoever's got the first 5 that are turned in, they're getting an extra $5K bonus. Is that okay with you guys? So take it right back to the team quickly back there. Take it right back there. Who else needs a form? We got a few forms left. Once again, if you're thinking about coming, get the form, get yourself filled out. Does that make sense? Go see our team right away. If you got questions, I'll answer all your questions. If anybody here needs financing, or maybe got a question about venture funding or public speaking, you just come closer and I'll answer those questions. Other than that, I love you guys. Thanks for coming out today. We'll be back all day here tomorrow. But if you got questions, come see me. You can ask any question you want. And if you're thinking about the program, not sure if it's a fit, come tell me about your business. Make sense? Tell me what business you guys are doing, trying to work on, and I'll see if it's certainly a good fit for you. Take the forms right to the back. The guys that got the forms, go to the back. If you're thinking about it, just come and see me, and I'll answer any question you want. So go ahead. You can turn some music on low. Scott, music on low, and let's take your questions, guys. What questions do you guys have? If you need financing, I can help you with that too. Hey, guys, by a show of hands, look up here. I'm going to do something kind of crazy today. How many of you guys would come if we made the entire course free? Hands up high. Let me see. Who would come if it was all free? Turn left, right, and say that's never going to happen. Not going to happen. Thanks, you guys. I love you. If you guys got questions, though, come see me, though.